inside Jones AT&T Stadium for Texas Tech and Kansas State. Alongside Spencer Tillman, Tim Brando, happy to have you with us as we look forward to a pivotal game. Both of these clubs would like to be bowl eligible, and for Bill Snyder, the veteran coach, they've got quite a chore. It'll go through the end zone. And give me, Spencer, the three things that we absolutely need to know when Texas Tech's got the football.
Timmy, it's really easy. Early, they've got to establish efficiency here on senior day. A lot of emotions flying around. They've got to put that behind them quickly. And then, of course, coordinators are notorious for not emptying their bucket. Kansas State can control the clock and thus keep this high-powered offense a little bit marginalized. So they've got to empty the bucket. If you got good calls in your pocket, do it. And then, of course, you got to help them out with the wide receivers. They dropped 5 last week. You got to catch all of them.
This is a far better football team when they play at home than on the road. Mahomes right away goes to Grant. As advertised, a great cut and a first down out to the 40-yard line as you look at the super sophomore from White House, Texas, Patrick Mahomes.
He's a heart and soul of what they do. The 36 touchdowns responsible for nearly 70+% of this offense runs through Patrick Mahomes.
Quick swing pattern out to Stockton. And he has another first down into Wildcat territory inside the 40 at the 38-yard line.
Caleb Pruitt there on the stop, number 4. And again, pushing the ball upfield. This is indicative of what we've come used to seeing with this Texas Tech offense. Points on possessions, they're threatening early, Tim.
And for those of you that just joined us on FS1, they want to get as many big-time plays in as early and as often as possible. Spencer, as you mentioned, because Kansas State loves to exercise ball control. Here's Washington again, and it's wide open for him. That's an 8-yard gain as they get it to the 30. Duke Shelley made the stop. This is a big part of their offense, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about blocking downfield. We know about them catching the ball. Stockton does an excellent job with that. But they are also called on to block downfield. Grant will be one of them, will be leading the way.
Washington again, this time tries the right side. Inside the 30 to the 28. Tanner Wood, 34, making the stop. But another first down.
Yeah, Sean Newland in on that as well. And that's one of the characteristics of this Kansas State Wildcat team. They like to gang tackle. They know where their strengths are.
Mahomes moving quickly and using his legs this time. Well, he's special. He laid a little lumber there, didn't he, at the 22-yard line? Yeah. Went right into Morgan Burns, the senior from Wichita, Kansas, the outstanding cover corner for K-State.
Doing a Joe Huebner impersonation, his counterpart today. We know he can run the football, but Mahomes lowering the shoulder, putting it in, leverage early. 2nd and 4
with Washington the lone setback. That's Brad Pearson in motion, 83. Good cutback by Washington. Looks like he has another first down.
Yeah, but decent job by Morgan Burns. Again, coming off that boundary corner position, he funneled that ball back up inside. It could have been gashed, but for the fact that he maintained his integrity in containment.
So the ball spotted at the 17-yard line. First down. Play fake. And on the shallow cross, Grant with one of those drops you mentioned. Pass may have been thrown a little behind him, but one you know he would have normally brought in.
Yeah, Mahomes, he did a nice job of kind of settling. He did throw the ball off that 1 foot, but again, the ball was a little bit behind him. But Grant has got to catch that. He is one of the most respected personalities on this offensive unit. In fact, Coach Klingsberg said that he is, in this whole team, both defense and offensive side, has his ultimate respect.
2nd and 10. Mahomes checks down and finds Stockton. Justin Stockton, touchdown!
Timmy, it's going to be a mismatch all day. Will Davis Jr., some of those guys back there in the linebacker position being asked to cover some of these smallish, very elite, skilled receivers. 4 plays.
No, Mahomes was outstanding in the air in that particular sequence. 4 of 5 in the air for him for 49 yards, and Hatfield is in for the extra point. He did check down, though, didn't he?
He did.
Beautifully done. Just the way you diagram it, right, Spencer T?
Timmy, this is what they do. Points off possessions. If you can hold them to 1.5, that's a win. The early return's good for the Red Raiders.
College football on FS1 is presented by K Jewelers. Didn't take long for the Red Raiders to get on the scoreboard. Less than 3 minutes. Actually, that's a long drive for them. Stockton on the receiving end of a 17-yard touchdown catch. Mahomes 4 of 5 in the drive for 49 of those 75 yards.
I think the encouraging thing is they did it their way, passing the ball primarily, then augmented with the run game.
This is Burns on the return. Morgan Burns. They do an outstanding job on kickoff returns. This has happened before. It's a touchdown. 93 yards.
Talk about all three phases of the game being engaged, and one of the key of any special teams return unit is the ability to block downfield. Look at how many white jerseys are on red jerseys, not allowing those red guys to get off. A nice downfield block there thrown. Physical play. Burns putting the Jets on the back end. Execution outstanding in special teams play.
That was Dominic Heath, number 4, that made the big block, Spencer, that you noticed as Burns set sail down the sidelines. And another one was also thrown for the Wildcats. Huge impact from the fullback Winston Diddle. Kentelly with the extra point. Morgan Burns had a 100-yard return in the season opener.
We've known that Texas Tech has problems with their tackling. It just doesn't extend to both sides of the ball, but special teams as well.
Mentioned as we were going to break that he had a 100-yarder in the season opener, replacing on the All-American Tyler Lockett as a kick return man, and that's pretty good.
Tim, he's one of the fastest players on this team, and again, it's kind of a theme you'll see nowadays. Some of the best athletes, even though they're starters on the defense or offense, they're going to be showing up on special teams for that very reason. When you're in games where points are going to matter, and we certainly know that's the climate, you've got to be able to match them.
You think Jakeem Grant would like to return the favor here on senior day?
You're talking about a personality. Throughout the course of the day, we'll be able to highlight him.
Well,
everybody fears number 11. He may be small in stature, but he's big in personality and impact.
On October the 31st against Oklahoma State, he took his 4th wood back. This is an Iowa State team, by the way, very similar to Texas Tech in that they're much better at home than they are on the road. That's a trap game. It really is.
It is a trap game. You know, it's one of those deals, Timmy. You've got to find a way to win on the road as well as you do at home, though.
That's Lauderdale on the jet sweep. Cutting back inside at the hash mark, gets it out to the 32-yard line. Pickup of 7. Second down and 3 coming up. Caleb Pruitt made the tackle, number 4, the sophomore from Blue Springs, Missouri. Mahomes swings it out to Washington. Nice little stutter step, gets it out beyond the 40-yard line. We mentioned the difference in Kingsbury's team at home versus, look at that, they double their output when in this building, Spencer.
Well, it is outstanding, but again, championship teams that contend for big games are able to play as effectively when they're on the road. And again, it's just one of those little quirks. Everybody likes the home cooking when you got your home crowd behind you, but how can you do it on the road in a tough environment?
Washington met at the point of attack this time, coming up quickly. Shermichael Moore, number 52. Skyline High in Dallas, Texas. Big time pop from the junior there.
Yeah, Jordan Willis was in on that tackle too, number 75, and he came crashing down, putting some leather.
Gain of only 1, so second and long. First time they really had that. Now there's Grant, a quick slant, and he is some quick to go with the slant. Jakeem inside the 5.
Elijah Lee was defending there, number 9, and he came right between them again. Caught him in a zone coverage, and Grant just split that zone. And boy, he put him in the hip pocket and sprinted away from him. That's big time play right there now.
53 yards on that connection. A senior from Mesquite, Texas. Well, he'll leave here in the best spot that you could possibly have from a career standpoint. Wow. Oh, what a beautiful fake. Washington to the pylon. Touchdown.
Timmy, when we came on air, we talked about the points of the game for Texas Tech is to empty the bucket. All of those trick plays, because Kansas State is able to possess the ball and take some of those possessions away from you, you've got to put your best out there early. Nice play call.
Yeah, beautiful concept from offensive coordinator Eric Morris, and of course Cliff Kingsbury. As young as Cliff is, and he's a young head football coach, when you meet with Eric, it kind of takes you back to Lincoln Riley. You know, these guys are 31, 32 years of age, and they're dialing up play after play in this air raid offense.
I think the thing that's encouraging about Eric is he understands his personnel and how to push the right buttons, Tim.
That's a thing of beauty. Almost too easy, especially against a K-State team that thrives on discipline. They still haven't had a touch on offense. 14-7 our score. Here's that check down to the slant to Grant. That was a thing of beauty, Spencer. 2 receptions, 67 yards for Grant. And here's Morgan Burns again from his 5. He's still in bounds. Beyond the 30 to the 34-yard line. A 30-yard return, and the 3 things that we need to know, Spencer, when K-State's got the ball, and they finally have it.
Well, it's not rocket science. First of all, you got to play like jazz. Every one of these plays starts off with structure and order, but you're going to be called upon to improvise and make a play. End up hopefully with the score. And then, of course, you got to close the deal. They've been so close. The 2-point loss to Oklahoma State, that one comes to mind. They've had several other ones, and then they've got to be more reliable. When they do decide to pass the football, they've got to be able to complete it.
This is a dream come true for Huebner to be the starting quarterback at Kansas State. Truly the 4th option when the season began. And Cody Cook, who we touched on in the 3 things that you need to know, will line up just about anywhere, number 19, including at quarterback on occasion. Gronkowski is the fullback, and he leads the way as Huebner on the side run takes it up to the 38-yard line. His best effort of the season came against TCU. He ran for 111 yards, 4 touchdowns in that game. And you see he's 4th best among FBS quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns.
Timmy, I think his best asset is his command of the zone read attack. He will stretch the 5 technique, that is the defensive end on the line of scrimmage with a little shuffle move, putting the ball in the belly of the back. It has a tremendous impact on his run game.
Charles Jones, the junior from Mandeville, Louisiana, is the setback on 2nd and 6. Over the middle, caught. That's Kyle Klein, senior from Colorado, making the reception right in front of Tevin Madison, number 20 of Texas Tech.
Madison was defending, but again, I think the focus here is Huebner. When we said that when they do pass, they've got to complete it, that was perfect form, a nice slant route inside. Way to go up and grab that ball and pull it down out of the air. Now, all of a sudden, early in this one, Kansas State has balance.
16 yards on that reception.
It's the 4-man rush here. They're getting a look from the sideline. They probably want to run into this look.
Flushed from the pocket, angling for the sidelines. Hammered out by Micah Awe, number 18, the senior from Arlington Summit High School in Arlington, Texas.
Timmy, about 80% of the time when you see Texas Tech in a 4-man front, they're going to drop too many people in coverage for him to be able to discern where those open defenders, receivers are. They won't be, because the coverage is a blend of man-under concepts, and it's very difficult to discern on the run. So he's got to be more judicious when he decides to go to the air against this group.
2nd and 8. Cook is in the slot to the bottom of your screen. Deontay Burton is flanked wide. Pass is batted into the air. Very dangerous. A lot of Red Raiders around it. Incomplete, intended for Kyle Klein again. And defensive coordinator David Gibbs is doing everything in his power to take away the run. He came over from the University of Houston, left a great defense that's undefeated in playing Memphis later tonight to help turn things around from an image standpoint here in Lubbock.
Well, I really like his personality. He knows exactly how to put his finger on the pulse of these millennials and get them jacked up and do the things they need to do from week to week. On 3rd and 8, it's
incomplete. Burton should have reeled it in. Was thrown a little behind it, but certainly catchable. The junior from Manhattan, Kansas, let that one slip away.
Yeah, Burton's concentration just wasn't there, and Huebner's going to talk to him a little bit about it. And I think that was as much a function of coverage, too. Look how many red jerseys are in that vicinity. You've got double coverage here. Nevertheless, that ball should have been caught by Burton.
Cameron Batson is back deep. Nick Walsh will boot it away.
Nice.
44-yard boot for Walsh, the sophomore from Linden, Kansas. Now the sun has peeked out on what had been an overcast early afternoon. Here at Texas Tech, serving up a heap and helping them. Big 12 football on a FS1. Tim Brando along with Spencer Tillman as you look at Cliff Kingsbury and his staff. That is some quick strike approach. I mean, if they go over 2 minutes, that's a long, methodical drive, really, for Texas Tech. And here's another explosive play. DeAndre! He takes it in! Touchdown! 80 yards!
Coming in, Tim, we knew he was on the doorstep of 1,000 yards for the second consecutive season. Sean Newland missed that play, number 9, and that's what opened the door for that big-time run, number 29, and then he took advantage of it. Did Washington. Boy, he's a special asset to this offense.
I thought he was gassed at about the 10-yard line. And then there were missed tackle. He's already got 101 yards after that run of 80. 6 carries, 101 yards, and 80 of it on one play.
Like a lit fuse racing to a point to explode. Down the stretch he goes.
Take a deep breath, DeAndre. It is, after all, a senior day. 21-7 our score. Just under 8 minutes remaining, and it's been one explosion after another here for the Red Raiders.
It has, and DeAndre Washington has provided his fair share of the fireworks. He came in averaging 6.2 yards per tote and had 9 touchdowns, and he's adding to that number in a hurry in this early one.
Beware, Burns is back there, and he takes it from his 2. He is snowed under at the 16 this time. He's looking for it. There he is. First down.
Joe Huebner's pass complete to number 19.
Joe Huebner with excellent touch on that play, and Cody Cook, the backup quarterback, starting receiver.
Ooh, he's a little
he is a little gimpy there.
Yeah,
they can't afford to lose him, Timmy. You know, Bill Snyder told us as we look at the form, which is excellent form, on the little fade route, Cook down, Madison defending there in his hip pocket, but just excellent throw and catch. But he's a little bit gimpy now.
Yeah, it looked like a hamstring to you, possibly?
Yeah, it looked like it.
Charles Jones is in the backfield. Klein, the favorite target so far, is at the bottom of your screen. Quick curl that's caught. And that ball is loose. Looks to be Texas Tech's Deshaun Johnson on top of it. I think he may have had one step after the catch before the hit and the turnover.
But Deshaun Johnson, 5'10", 174-pound freshman, he is the guy that's Johnny on the spot here. You see the little triangle that's created there? That is straight zone coverage, but he's got an eye on that football, and he goes and scoops it up. That's what this secondary was looking for, more turnovers on defense to mitigate some of the poor tackling that's defined their last few games.
All right, they're 37. Here's Mahomes. And he slides down safely at the 41-yard line.
So now if you're Kansas State, you've got to rebound from that, okay? You understand exactly what you're up against, but you got to hold defensively so you can give your offense a chance to come back and control the clock.
DeAndre Washington now is joined by Justin Stockton in the backfield.
Showing a pressure look is Kansas State. Bringing pressure.
There it is again. Crossing pattern to Lauderdale. Boy, I'm telling you, these guys, when they plant their foot and make another move, they're leaving the Wildcats tackling air.
Devin Lauderdale, man, he's a big receiver, relatively speaking, 6 foot, 181 by their standards. Tim, it's really when you try to bring pressure against them, they're going to burn you. Kansas State just can't cover man tight enough to affect it.
35 yards on that play. First down.
Kansas State backing off, showing more of a zone look now.
Out to DeAndre Washington again. Well, he's feeling it. Inside the 10, it'll be first and goal. Stop made by Newland, who's been a busy Wildcat, and that's never good news when your free safety is making most of the stops.
Yep, Caleb Pruitt there, number 4, lets him slip right through his grasp, and again, extra yards after that. I almost wanted to say yards after contact, but I'm not sure he laid a hand on it.
They mark it at the 7. First and goal. Look at that. He is averaging a little under 17 per tote. Option.
Old school.
Yep. To Stockton. Touchdown. Some of our conversation yesterday with Cliff Kingsbury and with Eric Morris was about limited possessions, and they were acutely aware of that. And yeah, I believe the kitchen sink has been thrown here in the first quarter.
They went old school Oklahoma style option. I can close my eyes and imagine Jamel Holloway toss it to Patrick Collins. That's old school now.
Or maybe Spencer T from
Back
time
in
to
the day,
time.
we had a few of them.
Hatfield with the extra point. There's Stockton. They call him Flash because of the speed. Well, he flashed right by K-State again. Oh, Texas Tech's getting a workout everywhere. Jones, AT&T Stadium, and the going band from Raiderland is jumping for joy. What has been a remarkable start for them in a game that means bowl eligibility with a young team like this one. Those extra 15, 16 days of practice mean the world. Morgan Burns is back deep. He has the only score of the day for K-State. That 93-yard return brings this one towards the boundary. It is banged out at the 24-yard line. I think the nightmare for the Big 12 may be if Notre Dame wins out, then beats Stanford. Can they, without a Big 12 championship game, pierce the Final Four? Here's Jones. Out the 30 to the 31-yard line, Jashawn Johnson. We've got a marker down as Johnson made that hit.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense number 41. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Big mistake by Malik Jenkins there. Well, among the teams, now remember, we've got a whole month left to play football. Look at the teams that made the biggest, the most significant moves up, and it was Oklahoma State. And remember, they've got all the toughies coming to them in Stillwater.
And they've got context, too. Remember, they got a win against Oklahoma last year, and the way Mike Gundy is coaching his ball club, the pass does matter. He's got his finger on the pulse of how to work them, too.
They are trailing in that trap game at Ames, 17-7 right now. Jenny Taft will no doubt keep us posted on the proceedings there as the afternoon goes on. Huebner. Good penetration that time by Texas Tech. J.J. Gaines coming through, number 3. The fearless champion and masked rider have seen their home team play very well in the opening quarter. We open the second quarter with the Red Raiders on Senior Day, leading 28-7. Second and 10. Huebner brings it down and decides to take it. And he's ahead to the 35. Thank you, Jenny. I think Ken Niumatalolo, the coach of Navy, will probably one day say, I don't have him anymore to play quarterback. Keenan Reynolds, it seems like he's been there for 8 years.
We'll see if he winds up helping them in the end, the way things are playing out, making special provision for Navy if they continue to roll.
That pass is caught by Deontay Burton. He stays upright as Texas Tech tries to strip him. Justice Nelson ushering him out, but a first down picked up for Kansas State.
You can see again press coverage on the outside. Again, an inside release. That's an NFL caliber route right there. Timmy, I know you don't like the big boys, but I'm telling you, that's what they're looking at. The big boys are looking at that.
I'm okay with the big boys.
That was a speed inverted move on an outcut. That's nice, man.
I'm okay with the big boys. I just don't think we need to evaluate their futures in the NFL all day long while playing at the collegiate level. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 42.
Look at this little slot look right here. He's dialing back out of it, but believe me, he had a notion.
Burton again was the intended receiver.
Yeah, so Justice Nelson was the guy, 31, that was kind of giving him what we call a sugar look. He gave him a look that he's going to come, and he's not going to come. He's backing out. He's trying to create indecision in the mind of the quarterback. And again, the way Kansas State runs their offense, it can be problematic.
2nd and 10. See the numbers on Huebner. Turnovers have really hurt Kansas State. Woo! Looking long. He needs some help, and he got some from Klein. That's a 50-50 ball that Klein brought down inside the 30. Nigel Bethel was back there with him. That's a huge gain of 29.
And it happened because of protection. If you look, again, there was a big hit there, and Huebner was still upright because of the fullback taking on a big block there that allowed that pass to be completed.
This is a tough kid. We had a chance to visit with Joe Huebner coming into this game, and he really does have, I think, a keen understanding of what's in front of him and how much it means. He's taken a very long and difficult route to play at Kansas State and in the Big 12. A stretch play for Jones, and he cuts it back inside to the 25-yard line. Stopped by J.J. Gaines.
That was one of those read options, in the inside option type run, where he's going the opposite direction of where the back is going to go. And at some point in time, he'll pull that down and keep it, because he's reading that, what we call a 5 technique, that in man on the line of scrimmage, the big guy with his hand down. And they've got another variation of that theme where they'll scoop and slide together, he in the back to that side. And that causes tremendous problems because it's a moving mesh point as opposed to the static read.
Redshirt freshman Justin Silman is checked into the game, and he carries it this time. We'll have a 1st down and more. Scat back from Tulsa's Union High School.
Yeah, one of the iconic schools along with Jinx, Union, and it's about missed tackles. It's about in space. Nelson with an opportunity to put his hat across him, just throws his shoulder in there instead and can't get enough of him to push him out of bounds. And again, nice game.
It is 1st and goal on the 10-yard line.
This is their power run formation here. Option
to the wide side, and the pitch to Jones. Hit hard, just shy of the end zone. He may have stepped out back. Oh, no, they're going to rule him down at the 2, as I previously thought. 2nd and goal coming up after an 8-yard game.
Here come their heavy personnel in again. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a similar option look when you get down here. They're not opposed to finessing you down here, but they're all about going north and south. But let's see if the big fullback is in.
Yeah, Winston Dibble. Yeah, both of them are. And there it is with Huebner. He's got to be in. No signal as yet, but come on, he's in. Touchdown. We see the pile.
That's right.
Well, that's an important drive for Kansas State.
It really is, and it's the type of drive they would have preferred to start the game off with to cool down this red-hot Texas Red Raider offense and play the type of game plan they had their eyes set on to begin with.
Well, the youngster from Cheney, Kansas, gets his 9th rushing touchdown of the year. You know, he understands what it means, you know, to follow guys like Jake Waters and, of course, Colin Klein, who's now a GA on this staff and sending in the signals to him. Go back to Roberson and Michael Bishop back in the day, the late 90s. He actually quarterbacked in a Fiesta Bowl game I had the honor of calling years ago, Michael Bishop. Kansas State's accustomed to being relevant. They need to get bowl eligible. Right now down 2 touchdowns. Jakeem Grant is back deep. That one will go through the end zone. Kansas State, off of that 5-minute drive, now needs a stop. Something that has been very difficult to come by against this Texas Tech offense that's been a juggernaut today. Mahomes goes to the out pattern. It's Lauderdale. He's got it up to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Devin, nice job on a little pivot route, sitting it down. But one of the things that's interesting to me is how Texas Tech is kind of taking their time. They're not really going up tempo now, and that can tell you a lot about where an offensive coordinator's head is, Tim.
2nd and 3. Run pass option here. You got to respect that with Mahomes' ability to run it. Gets it out to the 42-yard line and a first down. Elijah Lee shoved him out.
Yeah, we talked about earlier how he's responsible for the lion's share of their offensive production. And again, those what we call RPOs, run pass options, he will definitely pull it up and throw it out of that very formation on the run.
On first down, the delay to DeAndre Washington. Inside the 40 to the 38. Newland makes the stop. A 19-yard pickup. He may have 200 by halftime.
It's the nuances of this play. Mahomes, all he did was turn his head away. And if you're an inside linebacker reading keys, that's enough to drop you back in your coverage. In the middle of the field just opened up, and Washington, again, he found another gaping hole in that Wildcat defense.
I mean, you're talking about someone that's doing something that hasn't been done here since Hanspard, for crying out loud. He is special. Feed and fanning, why not? Until you stop him. And Kansas State's stout up front has not been able to do it. You keep going to him.
Similar to the last play, and watch him come up through here, working in tandem with the left guard. The if route, if in fact your guard is covered, let me work up through to the linebacker. Excellent play by the guard and the center on that last play.
He got 16. That's about his average per carry today. That's an effective way to win.
Garrett Castor is doing a fantastic job, number 75, of navigating the center of that offensive line.
Another one of the seniors.
5 wides, empty now. This will scare you, man. No safety help over the top. This is straight man. He's open.
Mahomes finds a wide open Lauderdale touchdown.
Tammy, you can't be partisan up here clearly, but sometimes when you see creativity and great plays, I'm just so excited to see it because you can see it before the play actually develops. A 5-by-wide look, 0, almost a bear look on the back end, nobody covering. It's really about individual players finding voids in that zone.
Backfield with the extra point. No, we're in the business of appreciating talent, and this kid's got a lot of it. Like Trevon Boykin and others, he uses his legs and his vision. Oh, by the way, the arm's not bad either. The league that we are covering is making a lot of news, and for a number of reasons. Here's Morgan Burns. He brings it out again. Had 1 for 93 yards to start this game, and Hubner out of the zone read again. That ball is tipped. Could have been picked. Very close.
To get this defense going again, because there is ebb and flow in the course of every game, Tim, and you can clearly see Kansas State kind of took a little bit of that momentum back. Texas Tech trying to respond.
Huge third down here for K-State. Down 3 touchdowns with just over 3 minutes to play in the half. Streaking down the sidelines, Klein again. He brings it in again. Well, he has been the impact player for the Wildcats, no doubt about that. Had the 29-yarder in the last drive, and this time the back shoulder works.
Yeah, this is the 50-50 ball. Justin Nelson, 31, defending on this play. And again, I take my chances on that one. The big, tall, rangy receiver and a tight end over anybody on the back end there. That ball is placed intentionally on the back shoulder in between the boundary and the receiver so that he can catch it and maximize the opportunity. It helps to have 3 or 4 inches on your defender.
4 receptions, 90 yards for Kyle Klein.
Nice.
Hubner again. That one is caught inside the 15. Stephen West. Seldom used wide receiver. A 19-yard gain and another first down.
Well, Tevin Madison, the boundary corner, number 20, was part of a 3-man back in, and he's got to do a better job of understanding what's happening in front of him. You can see this is catch coverage. Number 20 will come high out of that hole and then find himself there, but that's a nice job of Hubner finding the void in that zone defense.
Here's the issue now. It's one thing to score, but you probably want to not score so quickly, right? Not against Texas Tech. But Jones, extending, I think lost the ball. He did. That's a free ball in the end zone. It's recovered by Texas Tech. Is it Bethel? I think it is. Nigel Bethel's got it. It'll be a touchback. A horrible break for Kansas State unless they rule him down at the 1-yard line after extending. You got to believe they review it. You got to believe they take a look at this.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that the ball is out. Again, nice job of Jones of running hard, but
I think he may be down by contact at the 1-yard line, Spencer. It seemed to me that he had possession of the ball, that it was not on its way out when he hit at the 1-yard line.
Our guys just had a great look at it again, and here's an even better one right here. Watch this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you may have to rule that one down by contact.
Yeah, the ground can cause a fumble.
It can.
It can cause
but he
a
has
fumble.
Possession. Does he lose? It's okay. No, that's a tough call. That's very difficult.
You talk about a 50-50 ball. That's a 50-50 call
and
right there.
This is one of those where, because the ruling on the field is what it is, then indisputable becomes a question.
After further review, the runner's right elbow was down that caused the ball to come loose. By rule, he's down by rule. It will be 1st and goal at the half-yard line.
All right, so the ghost of Mike Pereira, I think, would have been siding with me there. So you said cupped. There it is.
Timmy, if you look close enough, the elbow did hit. It did hit.
The elbow hit first, then the ball popped out. So it's now 1st and goal at the 1. Hubner in the bunch formation on the snap and push play. He got in there once before, but I think he may have been stopped shy this time. Nope, they're going to say he's in. Touchdown. Took a while, but once they got through the pile, Hubner has his 10th rushing touchdown of the season.
But more importantly, the lead has been cut to 14, and let's see how aggressive Texas Tech responds here. This is just power football, Timmy. Putting your shoulders down and allowing that big, heavy offensive line.
How tough is that kid, though? Hubner, he absorbs as much contact as any quarterback in college football and has bounced back from injury already this year. Yeah, we talked about that Texas Tech near miss against TCU. How about K-State's, as you mentioned, against Oklahoma State? You know, he fought off injury in that game, and Cody Cook had to come in. And that'll do it for the first half. Texas Tech leads it by 14. Halftime here in Lubbock. Right now, let's get you to a very active Los Angeles studio and our Rob Stone. At halftime, Texas Tech, with a 28-point first quarter, leads it 35-21. Along with Spencer Tillman, Tim Brando, and I don't think there's any question on senior day. Emotions always run high, Spencer. But frankly, it's been a remarkable performance in both the run and pass game for DeAndre Washington.
Yeah, it's about how you channel those emotions, and Washington certainly has, to the tune of 200 yards when you combine what he's done through the air and, of course, on the ground. Over 151 yards rushing from 121. He has been outstanding. He's run between the tackles very effectively, complementing their outside passing the game, giving Mahomes an opportunity to have an option that keeps this Kansas State Wildcat defense on its heels and in control.
So Kansas State won the toss, deferred. They will get the ball to open the second half. Burns will not have a chance with that prevailing wind to bring it out. He does have the 93-yarder to open the game for Kansas State's first points.
Jim, you know, a second thought here about what's been the key in this first half. If we look at the Kansas State Wildcat offense come out, it's really been Joe Hubner being contained in the run game. He's 7 carries for just 12 yards. He had 153 against Baylor. He had the explosive plays. So David Gibbs' defense has done a tremendous job of containing what could arguably be considered their best asset.
Yeah, and this is a Texas Tech defense, Spencer, that was out of 128 schools, right? 127 coming in against the run.
They stepped up big time.
Jones is in the backfield on 1st and 10. Kyle Klein, a favorite target 81 at the bottom of your screen. Jones cuts it back up. There's an example of what you would anticipate K-State to try to accomplish in the second half. Micah Alway, number 18, making the tackle.
And what you just saw was an example of an adjustment and how you're able to come in at halftime and do things that are outstanding. You see a double tight end look here. The one on your left, as you're looking at it at home, will release and come up through, get the inside guy and get an opportunity to let Jones get past him and run through perhaps a tackle.
A long drive and a successful one would really benefit and change the tenor of this game here in the second half. Another great move by Jones. Ends out for another 6, maybe 7 yards. J.J. Gaines makes the stop.
Yeah, what you're seeing is the wisdom of an experienced coaching staff going in at halftime and looking what you're doing inside the tackle play, because the option game was not working on the perimeter. So they're coming back and doing what we call tandem blocks inside and asking Jones to be judicious. Bill Snyder is so efficient and he's so smart as a coach. He's finding opportunity where it doesn't appear to be.
Justin Silman replaces Jones on 2nd and 4. Looking long again. Great help from Nigel Bethel. That pass intended for Dominic Heath. Bethel comes over to provide the help that was necessary for David Gibbs' defense.
And it's tough sometimes when you're 5'9". You can be intimidated when you've got big receivers you've got to defend. But Heath was down there, and of course Bethel was defending. Did an excellent job in his assignment.
Time for the slant. Bethel right there again in front of Deontay Burton. A really good series for number 1 in red.
I'll have to give Bethel my cover brother award, man. He's covering like a blanket out there, man. He is all over the place, and this back end needs it in the worst way because, again, that was one of the themes coming in. Can they defend? It's not that Kansas State is necessarily a prolific passing team, but when they do, they can hurt you. Texas Tech has been up to the challenge.
Fair catch is called for by Batson off the foot of Nick Walsh. Inside the 20-yard line to the 19. 41-yard punt. There's David Gibbs. He was so pumped up about coaching one more time against Bill Snyder. He played at Colorado. And, you know, Snyder had come into the league at that point. So as a player, he opposed Coach Snyder. That's true for a lot of guys that were collegians in the Big 12. He said this is a thrill. And listen, I talked, and you did too, with Coach Snyder earlier in the week. I got the impression that there have been some reports that he may step down for a second time. You know, this is maybe the greatest second act in the history of college football. I got the impression that he still digs what he's doing. I certainly hope so. The game needs him.
In fact, he told us as much. He said, look, the only way I would necessarily leave is if they didn't want me. You know, that's, and I don't think that's the case when you're playing at a place that's stadium is named after you.
Look at that. What they did with him versus without him.
It's incredible.
Says all you need to know. That's one of the reasons why when someone starts debating who are the greatest coaches in the game, I don't get into that debate. I really don't. What he's done in his region of the country with the geography he's faced is astounding. Washington.
Yeah, he's running heavy.
Is he ever? Ball's loose late. But a late flag comes down. I think the ball is going to be awarded to Kansas State. Will Geary comes out of there with it.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 71 of the offense. That 15-yard penalty we enforced in the dead ball spot. That's a 1st and 10.
Yeah, that's a good call. Geary just strips him here. The big sophomore.
Big Will became Slick Will there.
Yes,
he uses squat 6 foot, 297-pound frame to pull that one out and just won the leverage battle there and gave his team another opportunity. Tim, we talked about this before the half, how each game is defined by ebb and flow. You know, if Kansas State scores here, you've got another context on your hand. Now they have got momentum and they can slow the clock down a little bit and force Texas Tech to play left-handed. Which is
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Burton is up at the top of your screen. Heath in the slot. And they go with Jones. And he gets 7, maybe 8 yards. J.J. Gaines with a stop.
Kansas State has found a little solution running in between the tackle and that guard gap inside that Texas Tech front. And they're going to keep going to the well until they can be stopped.
Kansas State 3-5. This is the 3rd time in Snyder's illustrious career that his team has lost 5. They've never lost 6 in a row. And they're trying to become bowl eligible too, with winnable games in the latter stages of November. 2nd and 4. Jones should have the first down at the 9.
Timmy, that's an outstanding job of scheming by Kansas State. And, you know, their left tackle actually stood up in his stance to give the impression that it was going to be a pass play. There is no distinguishing between what they do when they run and they pass. And it's tough to, as a result, to get reads on them. You think you've got momentum, and they come downhill on you out of a pass set, which is crazy. Look at that left tackle out there.
That's Cody Whitehair, 55. Here's Huebner running right behind him, and he stopped dead in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Not much this time. That's Devontae Hinton, who's just been outstanding. David Gibbs can't stop talking positively about this true freshman. One of 2 that's played really big out of Texas City, Texas.
So now this is a game, and the feel and the tenor of this game is more consistent with what Kansas State's want here. They want a slower game, one that they can anticipate. Even when they go to a trips formation right here, chances are they're not going to pass it, but at least that's not their MO. They got man coverage, so they got an opportunity.
There you go. Jones. Charles Jones down to the 1-yard line. And that's Micah Awe wrestling him to the ground. Got a little bit of help from Deshaun Johnson. Well, we know what they've dialed up from the 1-yard line. It's been the push of Matt Leinart back in the day. Just allow Joe Huebner to take the snap with a power formation. Let's see what they go with here.
Well, they've taken the stars out of the game for this game. We talked about those rushing numbers. It's the back end. On the 3-formation side, they took it away. Now they come back with 1. This is clearly telling you either they're going for an ISO or they're going for a power play.
Gronkowski is the fullback.
Option. Nice.
Huebner reads it perfectly for the touchdown. His 11th rushing touchdown of the year. His 3rd of the day.
Huebner had an easy read on that inside run option game. He's not motioning, or at least reading the end. It's that second guy. He's almost like a nose tackle. And if he crashes down, then he's going to continue on. And if he widens, he's just going to dart it upfield and score just like he did. That's outstanding job of reading by Huebner.
He got the short field. Geary collects the turnover with a big-time play, wrestling it away from DeAndre Washington. And Kentelly with the extra point. And just like that, once down by 4 touchdowns, DeAndre Washington on senior day knows, I just allowed K-State back in it. And Huebner plods his way back into the end zone for a 3rd time. There's Jakeem Grant, who's had a number of big plays already today. But that first quarter, which was so explosive, now seems a long time ago. And the lead is down to 1 score. Grant is going to be ruled down inside the 20-yard line. They're going to go with option for DeAndre Washington towards the boundary. Quality gain of about 8 right there. 2nd and 2 coming up as Caleb Pruitt made the tackle.
Yeah, Caleb did a nice job of shedding to help out the one corner who was coming up to force that. And again, you're going to be optioning off one of those cornerbacks, but the other one who's being blocked has got to make a play.
2nd and 2, just like that, to Sadler for a first down. Past the 40 to the 41. Pruitt again makes the stop.
Yeah, Pruitt's all over the place, but Sadler really caught that ball in flow. And you see the up-tempo now. Texas Tech getting back to who they are with pace and tempo.
Justin Stockton and DeAndre Washington in the backfield on 1st and 10. dumps it on the check down to Stockton. He's got a touchdown today, coming out as a safety valve. Sean Newland ushered him out.
The previous quick pass right here is appetizing because of that little void. Soft coverage, sits it down, and then takes advantage of this soft zone coverage of the Wildcats. Nice pitch and catch.
Limiting explosive plays, that's the mantra for this Kansas State team here in the second half. And Lauderdale would have been off to the races had not that one-on-one tackle in space not been made, but it was by Duke Shelley.
Yeah, Duke was really Johnny on the spot there. Again, because they were in a man coverage scheme outside, if he doesn't make that tackle, there's a chance to tightrope down the sideline for more.
2nd and 5. Washington spinning, churning, and pounding his way down to the 30-yard line. Well, this is now a career high for DeAndre Washington, and we've got the entire second half to play.
Oh, spin. Elijah Lee on the effort trying to make the play, and it's an outstanding job of getting extra yards.
Mahomes, discretion the better part of valor, decides to step out of bounds. But a healthy gain again on first down, and they are going quickly, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Quick out to Cameron Batson. And that'll be another first down inside the 20-yard line.
You can see how Batson and the rest of these wide receivers is so aggressive and physical. After they get the ball in their hands, they're able to get upfield and continue to fight and push for more with the stiff arm.
Batson had one of those drops last week against West Virginia. These guys are holding on to it today for the most part. 1st and 10.
Speed sweep.
There it goes to Justin Stockton. Justin Stockton again. Nice. Touchdown.
One of the most difficult plays to defend, the speed sweep against a team that doesn't necessarily have the foot speed to match this high-powered Texas Tech offense. That's just my guy better and faster than your guy.
Yet another example of how quickly this basketball on grass can answer a long and methodical drive. Hubner got it in on the zone read, but shortly thereafter, Texas Tech, that is officially a pass on the jet sweep. It is lovely in Lubbock on Senior Day, and their beloved Red Raiders assert themselves quickly and get it to 42 to 28. There you see the 81-yard scoring drive ending on the jet sweep toss to Stockton.
By their standards, 223 is an eternity, man. That's a long time.
Morgan Burns is back deep. This one is returnable. But then again, maybe not the wisest of decisions. Charles Jones had an outstanding series in the last drive. He's inching up on 100 yards for the day, just shy of 90. Nothing doing this time, though. And again, like Texas Tech, a much better team at home than on the road. Pass intended for Burton. Bethel all over him. Wisely, it was thrown out of anyone's reach by Hubner. 3rd and 10. And the crowd is back in it now.
Yeah, they are jacked up.
They go shotgun here.
Let's see if David Gibbs stays content to play zone. Looks like it's just a 3-man front. They're bringing 3.
Hubner rolls out of trouble. Dangerous pass, but overthrown again, intended for Valentine, the tight end, number 88, and they'll have to punt from their own end zone.
Yeah, Dayton really wasn't open again. The pressure wasn't that great necessarily. Hubner could have taken his time a little bit, but Valentine was on the receiving end of it. He's backed up in his end. Look, he had plenty of time, plenty of room to perhaps drop a dime, but accuracy is not one of the skills or one of the values and features that define his game.
Cameron Batson is at midfield awaiting this punt from Walsh. He needs a good one here. Short. Out of bounds. Inside the 35. Not a good time to shank one. He got that one on the instep. Only a 29-yard boot. So a very short field. And DeAndre Washington's already having a career day. We'll see him again when we return. 42-28 Texas Tech, and you know the fans now are smelling it. Davis. And you're talking about a team that averages 60 when they play at home. That's like pinball work on the scoreboard, and they're on pace for that right now. They are.
So what they're doing now is just showing you they want to get it versus soft coverages is what you have right up here. They want to get the ball as quickly as they possibly can against Burns in this particular case to make a play in open field. So as K-State continues to play soft coverage, they're going to continue to get that ball out as quickly as they can.
Option again, DeAndre Washington. He was stopped by Marquell Bryant there. They had him bracketed beautifully as he was headed towards the boundary.
They really did. They played with so much integrity, and Bryant just showed you textbook how to play the option game. You know, a lot of times people try to play in space and shuffle along with him, but if you know you're not faster, just take one of them away.
3rd down and 7. Jonathan Giles has not caught a pass today. He's in the slot, number 9. They're using about 11 of them.
Bringing pressure now.
And they loft one in the direction of Giles. Incomplete.
Well, it's effective because it was incomplete and not accurate. A 5-man rush that time put a little bit of pressure on Mahomes.
You know, there are times when I think that because of the way he plays the position and all of the personnel they have, that he just makes up his mind he's going to throw it to a certain guy.
I think he does, and I think that's part of his maturation process. He'll get to the point where he can go 1, 2, 3, check down, throw away, as opposed to if that first read is not there, I'm going to throw it away. And so as he matures as a quarterback and Cliff believes that they can put more of his on his plate, he'll be able to do more.
48-yard try coming for Hatfield, who missed a 52-yarder earlier. Comes up short. No, he did get it. How about that? That one hit. As they say, the crossbar can be kind.
That's right.
Amazing. Well, we were talking to Tubby Smith earlier. The iron can be kind or unkind around the rim. This one hits.
Wow.
And goes right through and gets the puck just past the crossbar. Wow. The lead is 17. So after a special teams breakdown for Kansas State, the Red Raiders come back off the leg of Hatfield with a 48-yard field goal and extend their lead to 17. See if Morgan Burns can atone for what happened in that last sequence by taking a knee. He does.
Interesting reduction here. This is a weak part of that defense.
Jones.
They need to bring it back.
Micah Awe gets in the way.
You know, Jones has done an excellent job of running and scoring today, but anytime you look up, it's not just a quarterback who's restricted to having a pre-snap read versus a reduction or an end that comes down like he did. The path is going to naturally take you to the outside. Jones has got to have vision to see where the opportunities will be.
2nd and 9 after a pickup of only 1. Jumping the route, that could have been a pick. Wow. Bethel has been there all day, and he read the eyes of the quarterback there. It was Kyle Klein all the way.
Yeah, Bethel, the last 3 or 4 times we've seen him with tremendous mirroring technique and skill set. Once he recognizes the route, he's breaking on it almost as fast as the receivers are able to recognize it. So again, Bethel, excellent route recognition. Just needs to finish it off with a pick.
That's why time of possession has gone the way of the dinosaur in statistical data. As quickly as Texas Tech can score, they get you in one of these types of games, you're in trouble. 3rd and 9. That pass is dropped. Klein had it, would have been a first down, and maybe even a big play if he had caught it.
Yeah, Klein has got to catch that. I'm not so sure he would have been able to keep his feet, but there's no question that they got the ball, did Hubner to him in stride and in motion. You can see as he releases, he comes underneath that smash route. It's kind of a natural pick that got him open, and he came open, but he just couldn't close the business deal with the reception. Nice smash concept. Again, it's not a pick, but it's a wonderful way to get a big guy open.
Batson with the fair catch called at the 13-yard line. 3rd down and 5. It's caught. It's Davis. First down into K-State territory. 24 yards.
Well, it took a pride of Wildcats to chase him down, but again, not before Davis got big yardage on that one.
Washington again. They're getting 5-6 yards at a chunk on first down on the ground. That's Elijah Lee that made contact with him, number 9 for K-State.
You really are, and you just nail what the key is to these last few drives. When you can get chunk yards on first down 5 and then put them in those run-pass conflict scenarios where you're not quite sure if they're inclined to run or pass, it really is tough to defend.
We talked about it in the first half, Spencer. Washington now is a yard away from 200 on the day. Easily his best performance on senior day. Bangs it through inside the 35 to the 34-yard line, and that should end the 3rd quarter. But you never know with these guys. They have to set it, and more than likely will allow the clock to wind down.
Nice hat.
K-State had closed it to 7, and then Texas Tech said enough with that. Fans rise to attention to salute their seniors, looking for bowl eligibility to give those mighty freshmen some more practice time. He's just gotten over 200. First time to do it since 1999. We open the 4th quarter with Texas Tech potentially with an all-time day offensively against a Kansas State team now that's reeling after having closed it to 7 in the early stages of the 3rd.
Offensively, Texas Tech has avoided some of the issues that really defined their troubles over the last few weeks. Their receivers have caught the ball exceptionally well. Washington has run it extremely well today. We know about his 200 yards rushing or getting close to it, but how about the 30-plus he has receiving? Again, another opportunity here to extend and close the deal.
And DeAndre Washington adding to his total yards, taking that swing.
Mahomes pass complete to number 21, DeAndre.
Out for about another 6 yards. I'll call it a 5-yard game. 2nd down and 5.
I think another story is that they were able to manage all of the emotions that define this senior day and kept it in check early. And although there was ebb and flow, Kansas State responded a couple of times. They've maintained an even kill for the most part, has the Red Raiders.
Mahomes dragged down at the 20. Tanner Wood, 34, the sophomore from Conway Springs, Kansas.
Yeah, Mahomes doing his Hubner impersonation there. That was a classic zone read option where it doesn't really require you to have great speed. It's just making the proper read for a modest gain.
DeAndre Washington is in the backfield on 3rd down and 7. Yeah, that was the futility EU matchup between Kansas and Kansas State, you may recall. Jakeem Grant gets out for another first down. Almost too easy, and you see he's favoring that left shoulder again. He's going to have to come out.
You can see, again, trying to make a play. It's about blocking and helping your teammate. And boy, the Grant did help there. He got a tremendous job and an opportunity to extend that play.
Sadler made the big block, number 12, the slot receiver, to help spring him. 1st and 10. Mahomes this time is wrapped up. He kept the play alive for a period of time. Sean Newland finally was wrapped up by Shermichael Moore, 52. He just kept the play going after the initial contact by Newland.
If you're going to run this zone read or this type of option game, you got to be more definitive and aggressive, to be quite honest with you, because you can wind up getting a quarterback that's gifted like Mahomes hurt.
Well, he's been banged up already this year. Just getting healthy, really. Washington again, pounding it. About a yard shy of a first down, maybe a yard and a half.
It was a subtle move, Tim, but Washington showed you again the art of running in tight quarters. He just showed you an excellent inside running job.
Look at that. Amazing day for him. Mahomes on his own. Touchdown. Yep, they're on pace for 60, and that's their average at home.
Mahomes showing you his athleticism on that play, and sometimes those linebackers get going in one direction. It's a lot more difficult for them to pivot and turn and respond. Mahomes showing you, that, again, the skill to score.
Hatfield's extra point makes it 52. I recall a day when your old coach Barry Switzer used to say, Spencer, can we hang 50 on them?
Put that ball away, that's what he'd be saying.
Yeah. Ball security may be a question, but right now the outcome may not be, and the Wildcats are bummed. 52-28 our score, 11 and a half to go. Patrick Mahomes is moving up the list. Look at that. Allison, Zebby Lethbridge, remember him?
Oh yeah.
How much fun was that offense with him? Great quarterback pedigree here at Texas Tech, and that was even before the air raid got here. Old friend of mine and neighbor Billy Joe Tolliver played here.
Oh, Billy Joe. Had a cup of coffee with him at Houston.
Yep, spent some time there and finished his career in the NFL in New Orleans, and actually played in the CFL in my hometown of Shreveport to close out his career. Morgan Burns will take it from the goal line. He had a 93-yarder earlier, you may recall. He stays alive and gets it out to the 40. And the numbers continue to grow for the Red Raiders offensively. Charles Jones on the check down. Gets it to the 41-yard line, a couple of yards shy of another first down. Tevin Madison makes the tackle.
Yeah,
Iowa State still has time, obviously, and the last 2 minutes playing at home. We shall see. Hubner looking long. That one could have been picked. Now we get a flag. Dominic Heath was the intended receiver. He got popped. The reaction alone from Kingsbury told me that it was going to be a targeting situation.
Okay, but let's take a look at it again and see if the shoulder. I mean, that's a shoulder shot. Yeah. That's not a helmet-to-helmet shot.
No, it was more a case of the elbow and shoulder being thrown. I agree with you, Spencer.
No, man, that's shoulder. That's a bad call.
Yeah.
That's a very bad call.
They spotted at the 26-yard line. Trying to get the clock, I think, worked out now. Jones taken out around the 20-yard line.
That was an example of that shuffle read zone. And again, what they're trying to do is allow the mesh point to move with the quarterback in the back to put stress on the defensive end. And I wish they'd run this a lot earlier than they are right now. It could have put them in a much more favorable position to dominate the game, or at least be more competitive.
Second down and 4. Jones. Ready for him that time. J.J. Gaines comes up in support. Yeah. Listen, you know, we talked a lot about David Gibbs, the defensive coordinator, and how frustrated he was with his team. And he says, you know, I just got to do a better job of coaching these guys up. We have to change the culture. They've done that against the run game today. They have.
Sometimes these young guys don't understand anything until you do it. And when he set a couple of his key star players, because they hadn't had a great week of practice, it got through. It resonated. And they showed up today big time. 3rd and 3.
On the slant, that's Klein. He's got it. Pass was a little behind him, but he reeled it in front of Justice Nelson. First down goal.
Nelson defending there, but again, just a nice opportunity to take advantage of soft coverage, and Klein's eyes are zeroed in on his big target, and he completes it. Nice job.
Well, you know, he wanted to atone for that drop he had earlier. That they needed that drive to be successful. Winston Dimmel is coming to the game, the other fullback. Redshirt freshman, native of Manhattan, leading Hubner, who burrows down to the 2.
An old Tim Tebow-esque type lead play call designed for the quarterback to run, get behind the pads of that fullback, and just straight power blocking by your offensive line.
Problem with this kind of drive, Spencer, is it eats up a lot of clock. It's what you wanted to do when the game began, but once you're down 24, that is a problem. Hubner, decked. Great penetration from Hinton, the other fantastic freshman. He and Jashawn Johnson have each been exhibiting their talents in this sequence.
Well, Hinton isn't the biggest guy in the world, but you're going to see the pressure come from inside here, and it's all about getting in there and underneath the pads. Hinton does a tremendous job of just taking on a blocker, the center there, to destroy that play and play on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Loss of 3, 3rd and goal. They go for the fade pattern for Burton. You know, without Cody Cook, this still was a team that struggled on the edge to have playmakers. They really did. And without Cody Cook down here, it really hurts K-State.
They don't have a chance on that play because the ball was overthrown, not even an opportunity. You lack the touch there at the quarterback position. Again, let's, in all fairness, understand that Hubner is the 5th option here at quarterback. He's an unbelievably smart young man. He's a local kid from the Kansas area. Tremendous heart.
Check coming from the sidelines. Hubner again fade. He's got it. Will he be ruled in? Yes, touchdown. Boy, that determination and check to Dominic Heath, very important for Kansas State once they got a look at the Texas Tech defensive alignment.
It was a well-designed play, and this was technically a big play. It was a switch route that he came off of, and again, the man came open. It was just a great job of placing that ball there. The accuracy or lack thereof that we've not seen Hubner display, it was on target in that play.
They're going to go for 2 here. Try to cut it to 20. Hubner reads it, fires it, incomplete. Pass was not thrown where you wanted it to Burton. It was low and behind him. It really was right there for them.
It really was. They had that power look, Timmy. They showed it. They skies it. Just couldn't pay it off.
Yeah. The touchdown was caught by Heath, but they failed on the 2-point conversion. A little low and away for Burton on the 2-point try. Hard to win when you're trying to outscore Texas Tech on the road. Red Raiders lead it 52-34. And one would anticipate onside kicks the rest of the way. Get the good hands people up there. Jack Cantelli will do the honors. And you can see Red Raiders are certainly anticipating it. And he goes Pooch instead, which has been an effective way of getting the ball, or at least pinning people back. And that's exactly what's going to happen here as Jakeem Grant takes a knee. And what it does do is enable them to know that they'll have extra practices, which is huge for a young team that has outstanding skill, talent, to get those extra practices in and be a part of the bowl season. Ian Sattler gets it beyond the 10 out to the 13-yard line.
To put a postscript on that note, Timmy, what it also does from a coaching standpoint, it allows Kiff Kingsbury to come back and say, look, guys, this is how we coached you when you didn't have a particularly good week, these are the net results of it. You've kept their quarterback that rushed for over 150 yards against Baylor to essentially 20-plus yards today on the ground. I mean, that's a phenomenal job, and you can tie it into the fact that that's the way you've coached it.
3rd down and 6. Grant, well, he just won't come out, will he? He's back in the game. He's had that shoulder problem at least twice here in the second half. That pass was dropped. Lauderdale had it right on the numbers, incomplete. Donnie Starks was there with him.
Lauderdale probably didn't want to catch that one because it would have knocked him to Fort Lauderdale, because I'm telling you, that ball on that slant was laid in there, and he was pretty vulnerable on that play.
Barden will punt it away for the Red Raiders. Dominic Heath is waiting at about the 40-yard line of Kansas State. Heath. Nice return.
Very nice.
Inside the 35-yard line to the 34. There's a wide open receiver, Kyle Klein, with the touchdown. 33 yards, and just like that, K-State back in business.
You never can go to sleep. Klein pays this off. You can see it's bump coverage. He plays the catch technique. Does Bethel. He's been brilliant all day, but he turned on the outcut, and Klein just went by him. I mean, he spun him around like a top.
He dinked him.
Excellent route. Great recognition by Hubner, seeing it. That's great football there. Bethel just got burned on that one, brother.
Kentelly will try for the extra point. And get ready for another pooch kick and or an onside kick. That pooch kick, which enabled Texas Tech to start from its own inside their own 10-yard line. K-State responds. Joe Hubner with his 2nd touchdown toss of the afternoon. 52-41 with just over 5 minutes remaining. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman. K-State needs more possessions and certainly stops. Klein is having an incredible performance in the air. 6 catches, 131 yards, now a touchdown to go with it.
He's been phenomenal on occasion, but again, we've not seen him be able to break out in the run game.
Oh, the onside is there. K-State's got it.
Hang on.
A really good job, I thought, of shielding Texas Tech from the ball. On top of it for the Wildcats, Kendall Adams.
Now watch the body language of not just Cliff, but his players as well. They look a little bit stunned right now. They've got to be really careful, and somebody on that sideline has got to get those kids jacked up and engaged back in this game.
Did you see the job there by 29? That was a marvelous job by Sean Newland, shielding Texas Tech from the ball without touching the ball, and allowing Kendall Adams, 21, to come away with a recovery.
That's what Kansas State does. There are a lot of heady, smart players that understand the game. And in most big games, Timmy, they're lost. They're not won. And that's not a cliche. It's usually mistakes.
Jones in the backfield with just over 5 minutes to play.
Love the play call.
And then the incompletion. Just a little accuracy would have helped there. Jones was wide open in the flat.
Well, he had an option on the play. Again, the flat or the free release was there. But again, because of off coverage, he was not going to go. Hubner wasn't deep on that pass. But I would have loved to seen them take a shot if the coverage will have allowed it.
Second and 10.
Single coverage look, playing a cover one scheme, man on the outside for Texas Tech.
Klein is down at the bottom of your screen. He's been the go-to guy since Cody Cook was injured. Hubner, back shoulder throw caught by Heath. He's got it inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. Madison knocked it out. 24 yards, the connection.
Yeah, Tavin Madison defending on that play. Plenty of protection, plenty of time. No imminent threat for Hubner, and he just completes the pass. That's pitch and catch, preserving the clock, get out of bounds. Outstanding job.
Hubner. The out pattern is complete to Stephen West. He's got it to the 19.
Well, they're working the clock excellently here on these out patterns, getting out of bounds immediately after the catch to preserve the 4 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in this game.
2nd and 1 after the pickup of 9. Hubner sacked.
There's Hinton.
Devontae Hinton does it again. Well, you know it's 4-down territory here, but they're losing precious time after that sack.
They joked about Hinton not looking great in his uniform. He's a fire plug, but man, he's the guy that's shown the kind of resolve that they want to center this defense around and call it their own.
3rd down 8. Hubner, plenty of time.
Wow.
Goes again back shoulder. Gonna rule it out of bounds, incomplete.
Jones couldn't hang on to that one.
He was there. Just those moments when the accuracy isn't there from Hubner, and it wasn't here.
Yeah, but the thing that Kansas State is doing so well is they're working the edges to preserve the clock. And again, they're doing impersonation of what Texas Tech would do were they behind. And this is not necessarily who they are, but when they have to, they can.
It looks as though they're going to go field goal here. Try to get it down to 8, Spencer, with the knowledge that it's going to take another possession anyway. Cantelli will attempt from the 33, so add the 10. It's a 43-yard try.
I think this is a wise call because of the body language of Texas Tech. They look a little bit drunk right now. They're just kind of staggering around and not really engaged at the level they need to be.
It's right through. So a 1-possession game with 3 and change remaining. We'll be right back.
Texas Tech 52.
52-44. Spencer, I agree. The decision to go for the field goal makes a lot of sense, but it does bring into question the decision to go for 2 when they did, because had they just kicked the extra point, we'd be talking about
A 2-point game.
a 7-point game.
A 7-point
we'd be
game,
talking
but if you
7
get the 2.
versus 8. Yeah. Cantelli again. Gets the high bounce. It's loose. Texas Tech appears to be on top of this one. Jadion High, one of the freshman phenoms of this offensive football team, comes away with a super recovery here.
It's rare that you execute an onside kick 3 times in a row in highly successful situations. I would have preferred to go with the pooch just above their heads because you know they're going to be hell-bent for election, driving on that onside kick to try to recover it. And you send your guys on the right side in a dead sprint past them, the ball is going to be live. You've got a much better chance of recovery.
Stanton Weber, number 12, had a really good shot at it for Kansas State, but couldn't get it. So here goes Washington. How do you do? First down to the 25-yard line, and the tote board continues for DeAndre Washington. 18 carries, 230 yards on the ground. A career day for him.
Shad Williams, the last Texas Tech Red Raider to rush for over 200 yards. An outstanding job many years ago. Ultimately transferred to Alabama, but that year he had was an outstanding one.
One more first down, and you will be able to get close to the victory formation. Washington ahead for about 4. Jordan Willis, 75. One of the leaders of this team. Junior from Kansas City made the stop. It's been an entertaining fourth quarter, hasn't it?
It really is. It has, and one defined by decisions and a few quality great plays along the way, but not enough for Kansas State.
Special teams issues and then some special teams plays for Kansas State, enabling them to have at least a chance, a fighting chance in the closing moments here. A win for Texas Tech, and they become bowl eligible. And they're going to give it to Washington, force Kansas State to start using the timeouts. And that will leave them 1 for the game. 6 more yards is what they need. Here's Mahomes. He reads it. He gets it.
What a day it's been for that young man. Mahomes is, when he's been asked to, he's run the ball and gotten those tough yards and first downs to try to salt this one away. His receivers, for the most part, held the ball and caught it.
DeAndre getting close to 235 on the day.
Wow.
And if you look at the performance for Hubner in what we presume will be a losing cause, he was effective, but there were those drops that happened at key moments and opportunities missed with open receivers.
Yeah, they just couldn't get him on track doing the things that really sets him apart. And again, he's their 5th quarterback, but he has shown in recent weeks he's able to run the ball. But alternately, Mahomes, 384 yards passing, 3 TDs, 13 rushing, and a TD as well.
I tell you, with the remaining schedule for Kansas State, it's not all lost. They still have an opportunity to get to 500, which would give them an opportunity to become bowl eligible. There you see the remaining schedules. 3rd down and 8. They're going to use as much of this play clock as they can. Washington right up the gut. Touchdown. Well, I think we got a little extracurricular activity. Late blocks as Washington was taking it in. Officials now doing as good a job as possible to separate everyone.
Well, I think the bigger issue is, look, what do you expect them to do? They're running the football. That's not their choice. In terms of their offense, their first choice, they're going to pass the ball. They're not passing on them. It's just turn around and hand the ball off. If you want to play stout defense, and that's what you do to deny them that opportunity to score again. It's tough.
Something to think about for Texas Tech. They get plenty of time off now. They get some time off, and we'll have them on Thanksgiving night against the Texas Longhorns. I think in hiring David Gibbs, it may not be showing up statistically just yet with their defense, but I think he's the guy that can change the culture.
Believe me, when you look at David Gibbs and you look at the success that's going on right now at the University of Houston, one of your flies in the ointment, probably the biggest fly.
Without a doubt.
He's a main cog and a reason why they're as successful as they are from a defensive standpoint, because he recruited those guys and trained them, and their temperament reflects him.
Trust me, he wanted this win badly. That was what mattered most. And I think the going band from Raiderland just got a souvenir on that kick. But 1st and 10 with the ball at the 25 for the Wildcats. Suddenly down by 15. Rubner's pass is caught by Dominic Heath. They're going to need to get Cody Cook healthy as fast as possible, because he is the playmaker, sort of the glue of this team, the guy that Hubner is closest to.
Well, anytime you can run a quarterback, it gives you a numbers advantage, but if you have technically 2 quarterbacks on the field, it gives you a special advantage.
Dump it to Heath. And he stopped at the 43-yard line. Micah Alway with a stop. Time winding down. Well, you and I will head to the desert next week.
Dry heat.
To Tempe for Arizona and Arizona State. Look forward to that game. It could be very meaningful.
Yes,
similar to this one for bowl eligibility. Arizona State winning today. There's a sack by Gary Moore, number 5. Sophomore from Clarksville, Texas.
How appropriate for a defensive play. We've been talking about Coach Gibbs and his outstanding job as Bill Snyder looks on, and it's a tough loss. They're 6 straight.
They're going to get one more play in before we call it a night. Look forward to that game. Arizona State last year was for the Pac-12 South Championship, as it turned out. It'll be a different story, but those two teams really don't like each other. Arizona, of course, has Utah later tonight, as we mentioned, here on FS1. They're 5-5 going into that game, and Arizona State got a big win earlier today after the loss they took in Pullman that we had last week.
Well, that was an entertaining game last week.
Final play of the game coming for the Wildcats. Huebner throwing it as far as he can, and it's picked off by Jashawn Jackson. And the freshman makes a senior move.
That was a classy move, and he got a little prompting from the sideline as well, believe me.
Well, for Spencer Tillman, Tim Brando saying so long from Lubbock. College football continues tonight on Fox and FS1. Let's take you now to the UFC 193 pre-fight show.